Do you want to be a good listener for the people you care about? In this conversation, my friend Kristen is going to share with us how we can cultivate really good listening skills to support the people we love. Welcome to Happiness Adventure. I'm Lisa, and together we'll explore ways to cultivate real joy in our lives. In your line of work, you have a lot of opportunity to listen. Why is listening so important?
I think listening is the most powerful intervention that we can do as clinicians, or in my case, a chaplain or a spiritual counselor, just because we all have within us stories and thoughts and ideas that need to be told, and they need to be listened to and kind of held in safe space and sacred space. So I feel like it's a way to honor other people and give them dignity and just respect for who they are. I think really being able to listen and respect and hold and hear what they're saying is the best gift you can give a person.
What are some skills we can use to be better listeners with people we care about?
That's a great question. I think to be in good listening space, you kind of have to maybe turn off some of your own inner voices and I have in my mind some of those little messages like, okay, I have to do this and this and this. So kind of, I guess, allowing some inner quiet to really create space within yourself to kind of hear and be present for someone else. I think besides just the listening, if you're able to be in that very present and attentive state to reflect back in some cases what you hear and showing that you are very engaged and very interested in what they're saying.
Can you share an example of how listening or responding might be effective versus ineffective or less effective?
I think that the responses where we might change topics or we might share our own stories, and I think the back and forth, the mutuality of sharing, giving and taking and sharing stories is an important part, but I think when you're really in a true listening space, you're kind of sitting with that information and you're not necessarily saying, well, yeah, my uncle such and such, or that reminds me of a time. So I think kind of that part where it truly is about the other person and it really is about their story, and it's really a place where you're not making comments on what they say, good or bad. Obviously you're making a few comments, but instead of being like a commentator, you're more of a person whose kind of heart and soul is joining with theirs and really trying to understand. And I think the hardest part, maybe in grief types of situations, is to not, maybe if someone starts to cry, to not give them a tissue or to not give them a message that they should stop crying. You want to be comforting, but I think being a good listener, if there are emotions that might not be comfortable, to kind of just go with those and to allow them to flow and to honor them, to let things flow without kind of jumping in with some of what normal, nice and kind people might like to say in those moments.
Well, I think you're an amazing listener always.
Thank you.
And it sounds like you're saying intentionality. Have the intention to be a good listener.
Yes.
To awareness. So
yes.
Be aware of what you're doing and how you can be supportive. And then 3, a lot of hard work and practice.
Absolutely. That would be a great summary.
Well, I can't think of a more important and foundational skill than listening for people we care about. So thank you for sharing tips with us, and thank you for taking time to be on the show. I'm sure it's going to be very helpful to people.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
I've been speaking to Kristen Carlson, a board-certified chaplain and an ordained minister. If you have questions for her, you can put them in the comments below, and like and share while you're there. Before you go, subscribe to feed your happy with a bite-sized video each week.